Ever feel betrayed by a fantasy finale? Uh, Years after the dust settled on a certain dragon-filled series, many fans were left frustrated. For a decade, it captivated audiences with its battles and intrigue, um, but the ending left a sour taste. Why is it so hard for fantasy epics to stick the landing? It's not just about spectacle. All of the pacing, structure, and knowing when to wrap things up are crucial. Uh, some shows have all the ingredients, but lose control at the finish line. Uh, um, these 8 shows prove that fantasy can build immersive worlds, weave complex mythology, and still deliver a satisfying conclusion. We're not talking about shows still unfolding like Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. Um, and while Carnival Row had its charm, it didn't quite reach the same narrative heights. In the other saying, these are the series that rivaled Game of Thrones in ambition and surpassed it in execution, especially when it came to endings. His Dark Materials, 2019 to 2022, adapted Philip Pullman's acclaimed trilogy with stunning visuals and compelling characters. Lyra and Will's journey through parallel universes was both strange and spiritual. And The show honored the source material, culminating in a devastating yet cathartic finale. It allowed the emotional weight of their conclusion to breathe, something the other show struggled with. Uh, the Magicians 2015-2020 was often described as Harry Potter for adults, but it was far more ambitious. Over 5 seasons, the show explored a world where magic was both fascinating and dangerous. It wasn't afraid to experiment with tone, and its finale handled character arcs with care. It wasn't afraid to be honest and emotional, which made it stand out. Merlin didn't have the biggest budget, but it had heart. This BBC series told the Arthurian legends through the eyes of young Merlin and Prince Arthur. It blended humor, adventure, and tragedy, focusing on character dynamics. The finale didn't shy away from Arthur's death, giving the ending a weight that many others lacked. The Vampire Diaries 2009 to 2017 balanced mythology and intimacy exceptionally well. The series followed Elena Gilbert and the Salvatore brothers through a world of vampires, witches, and doppelgangers. And then the writers knew how to pace its twists and turns, right? And delivering a bittersweet finale with closure for its characters. Grimm, 2011 through 2017, combined a police procedural with folklore, creating a unique fantasy series. And Detective Nick Burkhart discovered he was a Grimm, tasked with maintaining peace between humanity and creatures from fairy tales. The finale delivered closure with Nick defeating a powerful enemy and his friends finding happiness. Avatar: The Last Airbender, 2005 to 2008, remains a celebrated fantasy series for good reason. Aang's journey to master all 4 elements was filled with adventure, humor, and heart. The finale, Sazan's Comet, is still considered one of the greatest endings in television history, with a moral clarity that was missing elsewhere. And The Good Place, 2016 to 2020, didn't initially look like a typical fantasy series, but it became one of the most inventive of the decade. The show followed Eleanor Shellstrop as she found herself in a strange afterlife, questioning morality and purpose. The finale was a graceful exit, offering a profound and lighthearted closure. Buffy the Vampire Slayer took a campy premise and turned it into a layered narrative about trauma and empowerment. The series explored themes of growing up and fighting for what's right. The finale shared Buffy's power with countless potential slayers, expanding the world and leaving a lasting legacy. 8 shows, 8 finales that actually deliver. Which fantasy TV show ending left you the most satisfied? With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, see you next.